Did you know that Desperate Housewives had a different person playing Mary Alice Young? Well, you will shortly. Unaired pilots are largely made for the sake of selling a concept of a television series to a network, and once a show gets picked up to series, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes changes that can go into it that makes the pilot look vastly different from the unaired pilot. One major and common change that occurs is recasting actors, and those of you who have seen my Charmed Recasts video, which you can check out here, you already know that it has to do with creative decisions, scheduling issues, and cast compatibility. What you don't know just yet is that sometimes recasts also happen because an actor, while very talented, may not fit the vibe of a given show, might not have the necessary appeal for a diverse audience, or might not be affordable once the budgeting of the show is finalized. In Desperate Housewives' case, any number of these factors and beyond could have influenced why the pilot that introduced us to Susan Meyer, Lynette Scavo, Brie Vandekamp, and Gabrielle Solis had a completely different actress in mind for the role of Mary Alice Young, as well as numerous other characters that we have come to know and love. Number 1. Rex Vandekamp. Mr. Vandekamp, much like his wife Brie Vandekamp, was living his own life of quiet desperation in a marriage where he felt like he was being suffocated by his Stepford wife. He wants a divorce and almost loses his life when he expresses his request to Brie. But while this version of the show is what fans across the world have seen, the original vision looked more like this. And that's because in the unaired pilot, Rex Vandekamp was not played by Stephen Culp, but by Michael Riley Burke, who some of you may know from his guest appearance as Cupid in Charmed Season 2. His performance was giving mid-90s instead of the 2004 setting the show was going for, which immediately made the pilot seem dated. He also takes what should have been the frustrated husband aspect of his character and instead turns it into Rex's entire personality for the unaired pilot. Stephen Culp, however, brings a vulnerability to Rex's character that makes you sympathize with the situation, where you can really see that he longs for the woman he married versus the woman he sees in front of him, but is struggling to communicate how they can get back to the way they were by moving forward. Number 2. John Roland. While John Roland was played to perfection by Jesse Metcalfe, the unaired pilot had Kyle Searles give the role a spin. His performance was a bit stiff and focused more on romanticizing his relationship with an older woman while he's underage, rather than incorporating nuances of being attracted to and simultaneously being taken advantage of. In contrast, Jesse Metcalfe took Stephen Culp's approach and explored the vulnerability of the character instead, considering he's being seduced and is hesitant to act upon his feelings because a part of him knows what he's doing is wrong. He's being exploited and manipulated, and he's just a kid caught between the sick games of two adults, one of whom is abusing an underage boy. Jesse Metcalfe really understood the assignment and delivered every time he was on screen. Number 3. Mary Alice Young. And of course, saving the best for last, let's talk about Mary Alice Young, who was played by none other than Cheryl Lee. Yes, that's right, David Lynch fans, it's the iconic prom queen Laura Palmer from the Twin Peaks franchise. It was honestly very odd to see someone other than Brenda Strong playing Mary Alice Young, and how swapping actresses for such a pivotal role can make all the difference in how an audience would perceive the character and the show. This is first noticeable with Cheryl Lee's narration as Mary Alice Young, which we hear in the beginning of the unaired pilot, and it carries a haunting undertone hinting at unresolved secrets, which humanizes Mary Alice. Weirdly enough, that's not a good thing.
My name is Mary Alice Young. Normally there's never anything newsworthy about my life.
Because, in contrast, Brenda Strong's narration feels serene, portraying a character at peace despite those hidden secrets, which adds to the ethereal quality of what makes Mary Alice and her secret larger than life and so intriguing to viewers.
My name is Mary Alice Young. Normally, there's never anything newsworthy about my life.
Cheryl Lee also brings a darker, more mysterious tone akin to Twin Peaks, whereas Brenda Strong's voiceover portrays a sense of closure and positivity amidst darkness. Ironically, a very Blue Velvet opening sequence approach to the show that really makes one wonder how such a seemingly well put together housewife would want to end her own life. But before we wrap up, there's still 2 contenders remaining. Number 1, the Desperate Housewives logo. Instead of the very mid-aughts logo that we got along with an incredible theme song, the show originally, in quotations, cast a very 90s logo which was strangely giving Blossom. This clashed with the show's tone and low-key made it seem trivial instead of highlighting it as a masterpiece that it clearly is. Seriously, effective branding can make all the difference in the world, and Desperate Housewives had a great marketing team. Number 2, the background music. At the unaired pilot stage, the music of the show had definitely not been finalized, and you can tell because a lot of it sounded uninspired, totally lacking the signature jingles and themes we associate with Desperate Housewives. It makes one realize just how much of an impact music in a television series can have in terms of how scenes, characters, and plot twists are experienced, so thank goodness for whoever came up with that theme song and background instrumentals sprinkled throughout the show. Danny Elfman. It was Danny Elfman. And that's pretty much it. Desperate Housewives is like the definition of lightning in a bottle because there were so many things that could have made for a completely different show that ended up being perfectly curated by all the people involved in bringing the series to life by the time the first episode aired. However, it's nice to know what could have been, and these same actors, while not a part of the show in any format that's officially available, laid the groundwork for the show and helped networks visualize what it could look like before it even went through reshoots. Like this video if you learned something new or just really enjoyed Desperate Housewives. Leave a comment down below on your favorite recast or a character you wish they had recast in Desperate Housewives and why, and subscribe to this channel for more media analyses and trivia videos for popular and obscure television series and movies. Chat with y'all later. Have a good one. Bye.